Hi, welcome back everybody. Today I want to show you how to fix this crack in this solid surface countertop. This crack is only, let's see, about 4 inches long from the inside of the sink opening over down to about here. But I'm going to cut a slot the entire length. And what I'm going to use is a 1/2 inch router bit with a straight edge. And I'm going to cut right down the center of this crack. And I'm going to cut down about 7/8 through the thickness of the material. I'm not going to cut all the way through it. I don't want them to separate and be 2 separate pieces. I want the body of the material to stay together. So I'm going to leave a little bit on the bottom here. So let me set up the straight edge, grab the router, and we'll make a cut. Now I'm going to use a 1/2 inch router bit. Be sure to set the straight edge up so it will cut in the center of the crack. This is the router bit I'm going to use. It's a 1/2 inch double flute bit. Cuts real nice and smooth. Be sure to set the bit right above the bottom of the material so the countertop stays together. You don't want them to be 2 separate pieces. Typically I push the router bit through there, but I'm doing this so you can see me cutting this. All right, so there's the slot. All right, the next step is we got to take a piece of material here and we're going to keep cutting it down until we fit it into that slot, until it fits perfect. I think it's a 1/2 inch. Be sure not to stand the material up on edge and fit it in like that. That won't work. You need the same pattern on the top of the material to match the top of the surrounding material. This happens to be the edge of the material. This piece will stand a little bit proud of the top of the countertop because remember, we didn't cut all the way through the countertop. We left a little bit on the bottom so that this will sit down into that. This will sit up higher than the countertop and then we'll route that off when we're done. But for now, let's get this cut down to a 1/2 inch. So keep checking the width of this to make sure it fits the slot. And tap this over just barely because a little too much will make it too thick and you'll end up with a glue line down the side of your insert piece. Let's go see if this fits. Now we want to see if this insert piece fits into the slot, and that's perfect. See how tight it is? Like I'm pulling back and forth on it and it's tight, but there's still a tiny little gap on each side. Actually just to one side, tiny little gap. It'll leave plenty enough room for the glue. I'll cut this for length. I leave it a little bit long just in case the piece slides back and forth as I'm gluing it in. All right, so we've got the slot, and as you can see, we didn't cut the slot all the way down to the bottom like I said before. We've got the insert piece, and I put top on it so I don't get confused, and it fits into the slot perfectly. So the next step is we're gonna clean this with acetone. Sure to clean it real nice and clean because this is white material. All right, so we're ready to put the glue on. I've got a 2-part epoxy material. So I'm gonna put glue on both sides of the insert piece. I just smear it on the whole piece to make sure not only it mixes the glue, but it gets on the entire surface of the insert. Right now, right on the leading edge of the slot that I cut, I'm gonna put the glue because as I put the piece down in there, it's gonna pull this glue down in there with it so we don't get a glue line right at the top there. I just put one small little line there at the bottom. So again, there's the top right there. And just wiggle it back and forth as you put it in there and push it down real nice. Make sure you have glue the entire way on both sides of that. And then the last step of it, I'm just gonna put 2 clamps there to hold it down. Make sure it doesn't move. Here's a close-up of the repair piece. So after this dries, we'll machine down the top, we'll route the top down, and then we'll just sand it smooth and flat with the rest of the material, and it should blend in perfect. All right, we're back. The glue is dry, so let's take the clamps off, and I'm gonna quickly show you how I get this level with the surrounding material. I have a 5-inch grinder, variable speeds, made by Metabo, and I have it hooked to a dust collector, and I use 40 grit sandpaper to quickly knock this down flat. And then I move to a 220 grit sandpaper to kind of shine it up a little bit, but that won't be the final finish, but at least it'll do the repair. So we'll sand this down and then I'll move the camera a little bit closer so you can see what the repair looks like. All right, that's it. That's sanded down with 220. I left these a little bit, I left this along here so that you could see exactly where the piece was inserted. You can see it's a perfect joint. You shouldn't be able to see any glue line, any color difference. It's nice and smooth and flat across the top. And it makes it super easy going all the way through like that. Just a straight piece all the way through. You can trim these off. Anyway, that's how you fix a crack in solid surface material. Hope this video helped. Thanks for watching.